Canada. Ooh, I love Toronto. It was the first city in Canada I had poutine, and that's probably one of my favorite memories from Toronto. What's your favorite part about living there?
I haven't lived here for that long. I'm
Oh,
from here,
really?
but I lived abroad for 15 years. So I've just been
Nice.
back since COVID. So what is my favorite thing about living here? I guess all the diversity. Like we have Little
Yes.
Italy, Greek town, Little India, Little Portugal, the
Mm-hmm.
Polish community. So we can like hit up all those places for great food.
That's awesome. I think that's one of
Yeah.
like the best parts about being in like a metropolitan city. It's similar to like New York City or like London.
Yeah.
There's so many different cultures.
Yeah, that's the part I love about it, I think, and all the festivals that come along with it.
That's so
Yeah.
fun. Well, thank you for
Yeah.
sharing. Anyone else? Where are you tuning in from?
Oh, how do you?
Um, I'm based in Tampa, Florida. I was raised here. I lived in Orlando for a while and I lived in Mexico City as well for 2 years. And similar to Toronto and New York and all the other metropolitan cities, Mexico City, you can find any type of food, any type of culture, all types of people. So it was a lot of fun living there.
Cool.
Well,
Okay.
my
Okay.
presentation may be a little long and I want to make sure I leave room for a Q&A. So I'm going to go ahead and jump in. We're recording, so anyone that, decides to join later, they will catch the beginning. Video is not required with me. I just love, of course, when you guys are engaging, letting me know any questions that you have on as I go through. I will just mute everyone really quickly just so that you're able to hear me clearly. Ooh, Seoul, Korea. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Alrighty, so I am going to share my screen. Let me know if everyone can see my screen. You can drop a yes, a thumbs up, whatever feels right for you. Alrighty. So today we're going to talk about, thank you, Stacy. All right, glad everyone can see my screen. So today we're going to talk about how to land long-term partnerships with travel brands, one of my favorite topics. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about me before we jump in, just in case you may be new to me. But before we get started, I always love to send this kind reminder. You know yourself better than I do. So if you need to turn off any distractions so that you can be tuned in, do so. Close out some of those tabs. Put your phone on D&D. Close your door. Put your AirPods or headphones in. I'm going to share about 40 minutes of high value content. So if you commit to this, it will make a huge difference for you. And also a note as far as replays, there will be a recording available for you to go back and listen to anything that you may have missed, or if you just want to take a listen this first time and go back and take notes a second time, that works too. So there will be a replay available. I'll answer questions at the end. I will stop a few times throughout just to check the chat box, make sure I'm not going too fast and you're still stuck on point number one, but I'm on point number four. So I'll be sure to stop frequently as I go on so that everyone's up to speed. Alrighty, so share the love. Feel free to share this on your social media. You can tag me at Travel with Tinsley and Wonderful at Wonderful Creators. Let your followers know what you're up to. It's always so much fun to see the behind the scenes of all the beautiful content that you create and the different ways that you're learning how to do it. So feel free to post this. You can post any slides and tag me at Travel with Tinsley and Wonderful at Wonderful Creators. So, a quick background about me. My name is Tinsley. I am a travel marketing strategist, influencer coach, content creator, and digital nomad. For the past 6 years, I've worked in the travel and tourism industry in 3 different ways. So, one of those ways being working with travel brands as a content creator myself. I've worked primarily with hotels. and managing travel campaigns as a strategist. So within my time and still being a travel campaign strategist till this day, I do work a lot with airlines, tourism boards, hotels, and tour operators, and also helping influencers work with brands as a coach. So some travel brand campaigns that I've worked on include Montage Hotels and Resorts, Tradewind Aviation, Visit Panama, and the New York State Division of Tourism. And that's just to name a few. Some amazing wins that my influencer clients have had includes landing their first hotel collab. That's always a fun and exciting one. Being invited on press trips by tourism boards and getting paid to stay at hotels. So a little bit deeper into my background, I first started out as a travel blogger. I felt like a little fish in a big pond. It just seemed like all the creators with, the large followings, the 4K drone footage, the tons of monthly viewers on their blog were landing all the partnerships. And to me, it just seemed so difficult to get into an industry such as this. So even though I felt that way, I just kept going and kept going. And I ended up landing my first paid brand partnership a month later. And I landed my first paid brand partnership, and then a month later, I landed my first hotel collaboration during the pandemic. And I like to include that part sometimes, of course, not to be insensitive to those that were, the many of us that were having difficult situations during that time, but just to show you that it's possible. If it's possible during a pandemic, and still to this day, it's possible for you right now. So this opportunity really just opened my eyes to realize that travel brands were leaning onto influencers more than ever right now. And with this, I decided to take my skill set to the brand side and start managing campaigns, more specifically influencer marketing campaigns for travel brands. So as someone that's worked on both sides, I am on a mission to show more creators like you how you can get paid to travel the world by working with brands. So some students like you and their results, my lovely student Ayana, she said Tinsley's such a great coach. She's friendly and has many years of experience in the industry. I've helped her develop her online brand and start pitching to brands as a creator. Another one, Alondra Flores, I worked with her and she landed her first paid partnership. She learned a lot about content creation and how to price her services. Another one is Taylor. She's a lifestyle and food creator. I helped her with an Airbnb partnership that she landed, and really just sending over her rates and creating UGC content for this Airbnb partnership. And then another one is Mia. She is a travel blogger and journalist. I helped her on the journalist front as well as the travel blogger front, and she ended up landing a paid hotel partnership and also a feature opportunity for her to write inside for a luxury travel magazine. So lots of amazing wins. If you're interested in some results like that, today you will learn 5 different steps to land long-term travel brand partnerships. So the first one is relationships, and we'll go ahead and dive right into that. For relationships, I always say the more relationships you have in this industry, the more you will thrive. And this could really go across all industries, but I want to tell you exactly why it's very important in the travel industry. So travel brands like to work with new creators, of course. Really just going back to what I used to feel like all the big creators were always landing the travel brand partnerships, but that's not true at all. Travel brands, and I can say we love to work with new creators. It's always good to have something fresh and new to promote our products and services. But they also, I will say, we also lean on creators that we already have relationships with, because some things in the travel industry, and oftentimes many things in the travel industry, are campaigns sometimes come up randomly. So you would think that we're spending, I don't know, 6 months or 9 months planning for these campaigns and these press trips. Sometimes we're planning them like 2 to 3 months out, and we really need to find creators fast. So instead of like pitching to new creators and having to go through the whole situation of having to get to know them more and figure out if this is going to work, we're going to go to the creators that we already have relationships with, and we're going to say, hey, I have an opportunity for you. Are you able to do it? Either a yes or a no. And then just as that, we already have our campaign, our press trip filled. So that's usually how it goes with last minute things. So that's why I say relationships are very important. And travel brands also like to see when travel creators partner with other creators. So being part of this wonderful community is such a great opportunity for you to meet other like-minded individuals and partner with them for hotel stays. You guys can go somewhere and travel together, create content together for a hotel. My first partnership that I landed with a hotel was actually with another travel blogger, so it ended up working out that way. And on the brand side, we love to just have like that two-in-one package to be able to work with two creators on one partnership. So definitely, what is the word, community over competition. Don't think of the other creator next to you as competition. Think of them as an opportunity for you guys to collaborate together, because we love to see that on the travel brand side. So some ways that you can build and maintain relationships with travel brands is to pitch them over the phone or video chat. Not to say that email collaborations is a bad thing. It's just that it's different when you're talking to someone on the phone, right? You get to hear their voice, you get to have an idea of what their personality is like, and same thing with video chat. So when you're able to do that and you're able to pitch a travel brand in this way, um, it definitely deepens the relationship that you have with them. Another one is if you're local. If you're local and you are able to meet up with these travel brands representatives in person, that is a great way to get in. You don't have to be based in these big cities like New York and LA. Yes, a lot of travel brands are based in those cities, like their headquarters, but still, I mean, every single city, every single county, every single region has a tourism board. So there's so many opportunities for you to build relationships with tourism board representatives. So I encourage you to invite them out for a coffee, or invite them out for like an activity that you and that person have a common interest in. You may have to do some digging, go on their Instagram. Maybe you'll come across someone that likes cooking and you guys can like do a local cooking class together, or maybe they like hiking and you can invite them on a hike or something. You really get creative here, but ultimately build relationships with travel brands that are local. It's going to get you a long way, trust me. And another one is definitely follow them on social media, engage with their content. Make sure all the interactions that you have with industry professionals are positive ones. So this industry is very big, but it's also very small. Not to scare you, but if you happen to, not have a positive experience with an industry professional, if it's like a on the scale from 1 to 10, if it's like a 5 bad, then it's fine. But if it's like, oh my gosh, we never want to work with this creator again, it will likely get around. So just make sure that all of your interactions are a positive one. If you see things are taking a turn, go ahead and be the bigger person and try to fix the situation, because you don't want them to go back to all their industry friends and tell them not to work with you. So on the topic of industry friends, as far as collaborating with other influencers, just make sure you choose your friends wisely. If you hear a creator talking crap about another brand and about a partnership that they had with them, maybe that's not the best person for you to collaborate with, because maybe they burnt a bridge with the brand. And if you were to try to partner with that brand and you're associated with them, it may not end up happening for you. So just choose your friends wisely. And I would say those are the best ways to build relationships with these brands. So I have real life examples for you today. This is the first time I've ever brought real life examples to a class like this. So really happy to present to you. So the first one is Zach Weiss. So he is a writer he used to be a writer for Ralph Lauren magazine and Vogue. He's now a full-time influencer. He's a micro influencer. His following consists of mainly affluent travelers and just big names in the industry. He's close friends with other luxury travel creators, and he has relationships with travel brands. And because of that, he's literally always inviting on every single opportunity, campaign, pressure you can think of. Like, this is just a fabulous example of like building relationships with travel brands that are local, having relationships with other travel creators that are, well, he covers luxury. So if you cover family, or if you cover, I don't know, food, build relationships with them, because of that, you will land other opportunities. So that's relationships. I want to talk a little bit about home base, because I already went a little bit into that. But before I do, want to check the chat, make sure we're okay. Everyone's following along. We're good on relationships.
We're good.
Awesome. Thank you, Stacy. All right, let's talk about home base. So the last place we want to explore is our own city. I get it, okay? Maybe you've lived there for a while. Maybe you grew up there and you're just like, okay, yes, I know I live for example, I lived in Orlando for a while and you would think Orlando, Disney, everybody wants to go there, but for me I'm like Orlando, like could you guys just maybe find another exciting place in the world to travel to? So I get it. The last place you want to explore is your own city. However, there is power in working with travel brands in particular close to where you live. And really just going back to relationships, of course, you can build relationships with them. You live right down the street, so you likely will land another collaboration with them after that one time, compared to if they were in Paris, for example, the next time you won't be able to partner with them is when you go to Paris. So being able to work with travel brands that live close to you is a big advantage, and that really is where that long-term travel brand partnerships comes into play, and even long-term paid travel brand partnerships comes into play. So we often overlook the beauty of our own city. I know I'm guilty of it myself. However, our own backyard is the best place to start out and build a name for ourselves. So I truly believe in this. Um, there's a lot of creators that when they first start off as travel creators, they focus on creating content in their city only, or in their state, or in their county. So you'll see a lot of creators that say Florida-based travel creator, or I don't know, I don't want to use a big city. Give me a small city. I'm thinking of San Antonio. Like you will see a lot of creators that really just focus on content that are based in their city. And of course, not to put yourself like pigeonhole yourself. You can do Florida and beyond, San Antonio and beyond. You're allowed to do other cities, but you mainly create content in your own city. And because of that, you've built such a large audience. You will build such a large audience if you don't already, of people that are based in that city, and travel brands will want to partner with you because they are trying to target more people that live in your city to come to their destination. So an example of this, I'll do Mexico City since I was just talking about Mexico City. You can fly to Mexico City straight flight from Houston. So if an airline or a tourism board or a hotel that's based in Mexico City is trying to get more Americans that live in Houston to travel to Mexico City, they're going to want to partner with travel creators and travel bloggers and travel influencers that are based in Houston because they have that audience. So I hope you are picking up what I'm putting down here. There is a lot of power in building a local audience and working with travel brands locally, especially when you're starting out, because at the end of the day, when it comes to travel brand partnerships, we're always trying to target a specific audience in a specific location. So that will definitely qualify you for a lot of different partnership opportunities. Um, so I know that some of us are digital nomads, and this is like definitely something that comes up a lot, and I get questions about. When if you're a digital nomad, I would just consider the main city that you're always in. Like for me, it's usually Tampa, San Francisco, Mexico City. So like I have like my audience is the most, if you were to go like on my Instagram, you will see the most analytics or like insights of people that live in those cities. So I would just hone in a little bit more on the cities that you're mainly based in if you're a digital nomad and you're kind of everywhere. So top advantages of working with travel brands in your own city. I pretty much highlighted a bit of this, but you'll have the opportunity to work with travel brands more than once. You can work with hotels without requiring an overnight stay. So yeah, I definitely want to speak to this really quickly. Um, Sometimes hotels are able to work with you, but they're not able to host you and like put you in an actual room. It could be for a lot of reasons. It's not always because of you, so definitely don't take it personal. It could be one because they're completely booked and there's like no room that they can actually give you. Another reason is could be because they don't have budget. So not meaning they don't have budget to pay you directly, but they don't have budget to like put you in a free room instead of an actual paying customer. So that's when like marketing budget comes into place. And sometimes hotels don't have that. So they're not able to offer influencers an actual room. Um, and then another that's mainly the top two reasons I would say. And then the third reason is either because the influencer is not a good fit for the brand. And if that's the case, the top three reasons are low engagement rate, the aesthetic isn't in alignment for the brand. So like if you have a colorful feed, but the brand is more so into neutrals, they're not going to partner with you. It just doesn't make sense. And then audience, is your audience the type of audience that they're trying to target? So yeah, working with hotels without requiring an overnight stay. If they live in your own city, you can just go home right afterwards. But hotels still want to partner with influencers for this because they have other amenities. Maybe they want to, get more people. Maybe people can't, stay overnight, but they want to get more people to visit their pool, their bar, their spa, their restaurant. Like hotels have so many other things to offer, meeting rooms and events. Some of them have casinos, some of them have bowling alleys, like, the list of amenities goes on, and they want to promote that, but sometimes, they're not able to offer an overnight stay, so this is where the opportunity for you to come in if you're local, you can come and create content for them. They'll likely find a budget to pay you if that's the case, especially if you're creating marketing content for them, but without requiring an overnight stay. And also, of course, you can see and meet with industry professionals often if you work with travel brands in your own city. So, a quick real life example, this is Adrienne. She's based in South Carolina, right between Hilton Head and Savannah. She's a nano influencer. She only has around 9,000 followers, which is considered, for our industry, is considered a smaller influencer, but she does land a lot of travel brand partnerships because she has an audience that is located in South Carolina and in Savannah. So I worked with her on a hotel campaign and it went absolutely incredible. If anything, this is for those of you that keep thinking it's my following, it's my following. If anything, this is like definitely validation that it's not your following, it's your audience. At the end of the day, the people that are already there, the 9,000 in her case, the campaign went so well because she had the audience that we're trying to target. So definitely a great example for build an audience in your hometown. You will not regret it. So that's home base. I'm going to check the chat, see how we're doing. Where do you start in, like Iowa? I wonder what that what part was that to? Like where did
That was for getting a relationship with tourism companies when you're in a place like Iowa, which um,
which is
not a
different.
lot of people come into.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a different one. It's not like, it has like a big city there or anything like that. But Iowa, the state, has a tourism board. And then think about all the cities within Iowa. They have tourism boards too. They likely have tour operators. I don't know any airlines that have hubs in Iowa. However, if they have direct flights from anywhere such as Atlanta, Chicago, or Denver, for example, and they have direct flights to somewhere in Iowa, that can be another opportunity to partner with them. And then hotels, of course, like Iowa's a huge state. I'm sure they have hotels everywhere. So again, we tend to think about the bigger destinations like, oh, but I want to partner with a hotel in Paris. I want to partner with a hotel in Bora Bora in Brazil. And you can and you will be able to, but I definitely think starting out with those smaller hotels is a great way, and travel brands in general is a great way to get in, because if you can partner with the Marriott in Iowa, you can partner with the Marriott in Dubai, period. It's the same brand. All they have to do is say, we had a great partnership with this with Stacy in Iowa. I definitely recommend her. She's traveling to Dubai. Can you host her? They say, yeah, absolutely. They're gonna believe what their colleagues say. So yes, definitely a great way to get in. Start in your hometown. Okay, let's talk about campaigns. So, campaigns in general, overall, it is an extended period where influencers will promote a brand. So that's where the term influencer campaign comes from. Usually it's around 3 months or more. I'm actually doing a campaign right now that's 12 months long. It's a lot of fun. But I'm kind of tired of doing the same thing. But again, not to get off topic, campaigns are usually long, which means long-term partnerships, which means long-term opportunities to work with these hotels and travel brands. So aim for campaigns. So instead of pitching one-off collaborations like, hey, I would love to partner with your hotel for this one trip I'm doing. Maybe if it's like a city that you go to often or even your hometown, say like, I would love to partner with the hotel over expand of the fall season and promote your offering on this and on that, and send different ideas for several different collaborations. So instead of like pitching one-off collaborations that can be completed in 1 month, maybe split this up into 3 or 6 months. Because of course that allows for the long-term partnership, and that also allows you to not have to not be able to partner with other travel brands within that same month, because that's a lot of times that what makes sometimes creators stop pitching or have to turn down some partnerships is because they already have so many in 1 month. But when you're spreading them out, it allows you to still take on more partnerships and also have that long-term partnerships and reoccurring revenue. So try to spread them out, and also this ends up working on the brand side. So don't be afraid to say this to a brand, because it often ends up working out on our end as well, because sometimes brands don't have the budget to pay. They have the budget to pay you, but they don't have the budget to pay you all at once. So if the partnership is split up over 3 months, maybe they can make 3 monthly payments or 6 monthly payments. And of course, you wouldn't give them all the deliverables all at once until they pay you. So 1 month you'll give them a reel and they'll give you a payment. The second month you'll give them a reel and then they'll give you a payment. The third month, maybe a blog post, and then they'll give you a payment. This is truly how you can have those long-term partnerships and also reoccurring revenue in this type of industry. Especially, I hate to say it, but this is one of the industries where it can be difficult sometimes to get paid. So, and it's because of budget. It's really not because of influencers, it's because of budget. So with that being said, a way that you can help the travel brand out, like, hey, I know you may not have the budget right now, but this is how we can work together, is by splitting it up. So yeah, add in more deliverables to make the campaigns longer. So instead of, doing one reel for a tourism board, definitely do more, do reels, do stories, do TikTok, do podcast episodes, the list goes on. Do this intentionally, because thinking of all the different ways that your audience will be best to resonate with the campaign's message. So quick marketing 101 is that people need to see a product more than once in order to invest in it. So if at the end of the day, these travel brands want to partner with you so that your audience will come to their destination or their hotel, right? If you promote their hotel more than once, they're more than likely to consider that hotel or even book that hotel, if compared to if you were to just like promote that hotel just once. So in the end, it works out for the travel brand as well. So don't think, maybe you're creating inconvenience for them. You're really creating convenience. And sometimes you got to give the brands this type of marketing 101, because they just don't think about it that way. So how campaigns are a win-win helps travel brands who are not able to pay you up front, as I mentioned, helps travel brands who have the goal to drive conversions. So conversions meaning they want to see actual money and bookings from partnering with you. But again, your audience needs to see that hotel more than once in order to actually book a stay at that hotel. So I highly encourage you to do a campaign rather than a one-off partnership. Helps the creator not have so much agreed in 1 month, as I mentioned, and also helps you create reoccurring revenue, month after month income. So a real life example is Mackenzie. I partnered with Mackenzie, still partnering with Mackenzie for an airline partnership. She's based in Connecticut. She focuses on fashion, family, and travel. She's a macro influencer, so she is a little bit bigger, but not too big. Her audience is based mainly in the US Northeast. And this aviation client in particular, they have a lot of flights to the US Northeast, so it's definitely an alignment. So Mackenzie, although she's based in Connecticut, she has a second house in Massachusetts. So she often goes back and forth between Connecticut and Massachusetts, and this airline has a direct flight between Connecticut and Massachusetts. So it works out perfectly because she's able to always take that airline when she goes to her second house in Massachusetts and promote the airline while she's at it. And now so many people travel with this airline because of Mackenzie, because she has this ongoing partnership and campaign with the airline. So this really works out for digital nomads. This works out if you frequently go back and forth between two cities. Like for me, it could be Tampa and Orlando. They're literally an hour apart. So being able to, well, there's no flights in between Tampa and Orlando. So maybe that's not a good example. Okay, Tampa and Miami, 4 hours apart driving distance, 45-minute flight. That will be a great opportunity for you to partner with an airline that has direct flights there. So that's campaigns. We're going to go into client experience, which is like a very important one, because Of course, we all want to land the travel brand partnerships, and you will, it's inevitable. But once you land them, make sure everything goes well, or else perhaps they may not return. So client experience is very important. Delivering an exceptional client experience is everything when it comes to everything. So not just this industry, across the board. A key way a lot of influencers wake up with tons of collaboration requests in their inbox, like all these brands are wanting to partner with them, is because other brands are raving about them to their industry friends. It's completely true and accurate. So within the partnerships that I do, I often have people come to me and they say, "Hey, I know that you managed a influencer collaboration for this hotel. How is your experience working with this influencer?" Or, for example, "We don't know any influencers to work with, and we have to hurry up and find one for this campaign that we're running. Who do you recommend?" And I send all my recommendations their way. I'm not the only one that does this. There's plenty of industry professionals that are in these situations too. You want them to be putting your name forward. So going back to number one, relationships, but also with number four, having a good client experience. Because if they had a great experience partnering with you, they're going to refer you to all their industry friends. And yeah, you want to be known as an influencer that is a joy to work with. And if you're not, the word will get around fast. So, top ways to deliver a great client experience: create all the deliverables you said you would make. Like, this is very common, which shouldn't be, but it's very common that creators will say, "I'll create 4 reels for you," and they only create 2, and like, we're like, "So where's the other 2?" And we're following up and we're following up. And we understand, things happen in life. Maybe you're not able to create the reels immediately, but I definitely think simple communication will, fix that issue. So if you said that you're going to create all a certain amount of deliverables, create those deliverables. Um, Another thing is post and send the deliverables to the brand on time. So if you tell the brand you'll post the deliverables, like you'll post the reels or the stories by Friday, post them by Friday. And if there's a short delay, it's fine. Communication is key. Reach out to them and say, "Hey, there's a delay. I'm not going to be able to post them on Friday, but I got you on Monday." They will appreciate that, compared to you just waiting, thinking, "Oh, it's the weekend." They're not thinking about it and just posting it on Monday. So post on time, send a deliverable. So sometimes brands will ask you to send your deliverables for review before you post them, because they just want to make sure everything is good. And usually that's just a great way for them to review your content before you post it, because some brands, and they do have the right to, in a lot of contracts, they have the right to tell you to take it down after you post it. You don't want that to happen. So especially if it's like a reel and it's already getting a bunch of views. So with that being said, send the deliverables for review. Some brands will ask for this, some brands won't. If the brand doesn't ask, but you kind of feel like, this is a reel, or like this is like a post that I don't want to take down if I have to, send it to them anyway. Say, "I want to get your thoughts before I post this." Another thing is be professional throughout the campaign from start to finish. A lot of creators are going to the campaign super professional. This happens a lot during the holiday times because there's just so many brands doing campaigns, but super professional. And then like halfway through, we're like, "What's happening?" So start to finish. At the end of the day, you're a business, so show up as if you are one. Show interest in the brand by asking thoughtful questions. This is key. This is very, very key, especially when you are with a travel brand in person. And this will happen a lot, of course, in travel. If you are visiting a hotel, they will likely, have a welcome amenity for you. So maybe they'll give you some champagne or like an edible arrangement or something nice to welcome the influencer in. And they'll give you a site tour as well. On this site tour, you don't want to be on your phone. You don't want to be just looking around while they're talking, not, having eye contact. And you don't want to be asking questions that you kind of should already know. Like questions like, what's a good example? "Oh, what's the name of the restaurants of this hotel?" You should already know that before staying there. You should already be doing your research. So thoughtful questions, instead of saying, "What's the name? How many restaurants does this hotel have?" or "What's the name of this hotel?" A thoughtful question will be, um, how did you guys come up with the concept behind this restaurant? Like what was the chef's idea of coming up with this type of Italian cuisine? I would love to know. Like thoughtful questions, because at the end of the day, brands want to see that you're asking those thoughtful questions, because of course it shows that you're interested in their brand, and also it tells them that the type of content that you were looking to create from this brand is going to go beyond that this hotel has, 5 restaurants and the restaurants named this, this, and that. They want you to create content such as this hotel has this one restaurant that's named this and the concept was developed from this. Like that's engaging type content. It's not very it's more detailed. So ask those thoughtful questions so that you can get those thoughtful answers. Be honest all the time, even when something doesn't go as planned. We get it. You will miss a flight. You may lose your bag. It may rain. Like it may snow. Things happen. You may have to cancel. It's okay. Be honest because you don't want to have to chase your own lies, and things get around quickly, and we can put 2 and 2 together and get 4. So be honest at all times, and even when something doesn't go as planned, and it'll end up working out in your favor. So real life example, this is Marie. She's based in New York. She's an influencer and blogger, focuses on beauty, fashion, and travel. She's a micro influencer. Her audience is mainly interested in luxury brands. And we invited her on a press trip in May. First time ever working with her. She did such an incredible job on this press trip. One of our colleagues came to us and they were like, we're doing a press trip. It's literally in June. We need one more influencer. Who do you recommend? We recommend this girl. Next thing you know, she's on a next press trip a month later. So going back to client experience, she delivered an incredible client experience. Everything that I listed in the last slide, she did. She posted everything on time. She was always honest. And like if something came up, she kept it real. She let us know. She asked thoughtful questions, super engaged throughout the entire press trip because at the end of the day, you're a business, this is your job. She showed up as if she's at work. And because of that, she ended up getting basically catapulting her success and being able to move on to the next press trip just 1 month later. So client experiences is huge. And then I can go ahead and just jump into the last one, which is repitching. So you'll be surprised by how many people do not do this because they're stuck in their head. They will do a collaboration with a brand and just let it be. Nothing more after that. Thanks so much for offering me this opportunity. Looking forward to staying in touch. And then you never stay in touch. Repitch them afterwards. It doesn't always have to be immediately afterwards. I recommend immediately afterwards, or at least like within 3 months, because you don't want them to forget about you. But that is an opportunity for you to get back in and continue to build that relationship. So yep, going back to number 1, relationships is key. The best way to keep building this relationship is by repitching. The timing of your new pitch could be perfect for a brand representative or one of their colleagues that is looking for influencers for a last minute campaign or press trip. This is so true, especially during the summer. The summer is press trip season. Every hotel and tourism board in the world just seems to be having a press trip going on in the summertime. So if you're repitching, you're saying, hey, I'm open for press trips. I would love to, go to a culinary destination, or I would love to partner with your brand and do this, and that. They'll be like, hey, that's perfect because we're doing something next month. Or they'll say, hey, we don't have anything going on right now, but I do have a colleague that's doing this. Would you be interested? So repitch, because if not, they're not going to know that you're open to partnering with them again. Sometimes, we will go back and ask, we have something new going on. Would you be interested? But not all the time. So it's a two-way street. You reach out to me, I reach out to you. So definitely repitch. Top tips for repitching: come up with a new and fresh idea, of course. If, we're working on another campaign together, we don't want it to be the exact same thing that we just did. Have something new, have something fresh. Reach out to the same representative that you were previously in touch with. So if you were previously in touch with me for an airline client, reach out to me and repitch me. And also, when you reach out to me, use reply all. So this is something that a lot of people don't do. It's not a big deal, but it can be a big deal because, say for example, we just finished a collaboration together and I'm going on vacation for 2 weeks and you just repitched me, and maybe my airline client has another trip coming up and they're looking for an influencer. Well, you just missed out on that opportunity because I'm not checking my email on vacation. I'm sipping on my pina colada and minding my business. But if you use reply all, most of the time I'm going to have like a colleague CC'd, or like I don't know, or the actual airline itself CC'd, so when you reply all while I'm on vacation, other people will see that and say, hey, she wants to partner with us again, let's go ahead and facilitate this collaboration. So use reply all. And also, even if the person's not on vacation, sometimes like there's industry professionals that just simply don't respond to their emails. So click reply all so that maybe their manager who's also on that email chain will see that they haven't responded to you, and you'll get a faster response. So reply all, reply all, reply all. Let the brand know you're flexible with your ideas and timing. If you can be, like, I know sometimes, I don't know, you may be in Japan only for 1 week, so you're only able to partner with that brand within that 1 week. That's understandable. But if you're going to be in Japan for like 3 months, let us know, because maybe the first 2 months we're like completely booked, but it's a great opportunity and we definitely want to move forward with it. And the third month works out for us. So if you're able to be flexible with your timing, your dates, and even your ideas. So if you pitch, I don't know, a hotel in Japan, culinary and like food partnership idea, but they're like, we're not really trying to focus our marketing efforts on our culinary and food right now, but we do need help with our spa. Are you interested in that? If you let them know that you're flexible with your ideas up front, then that will keep them thinking. But again, if you don't mention this, we're not going to think this. We're just going to think, oh, she's just a food blogger and that's all she wants to do. But if you reach out and say, I'm also interested in spa too, and we're thinking, oh, now we're talking something different. So let them know that you're flexible with your ideas and your timing for a collaboration that you just finished. Like, as far as just rule of thumb, this is not an industry like you have to do this, but this is just my recommendations. I recommend pitching 3 months later for a collaboration that you just finished. And for a collaboration request that a brand declined, so say you pitch a hotel, they declined it, they tell you, now it's not a good time or it's not a good fit, you can still repitch them. Don't just completely X them out, because as I mentioned, now is not a good time, but pitch them 6 months later and see how things are going. And then the final thing is always follow up. So say you sent a pitch to a hotel yesterday. Yesterday was Wednesday. Follow up with them on Monday. Don't just let it sit. Don't just think, oh, they didn't respond, they don't want to work with me. No, it's just that maybe you reach out to them on a Wednesday where they literally have like 10 calls on their calendar and 200 emails to go through. Follow up with them. The follow-ups are not annoying. They are definitely useful. There have been a lot of times where there's influencer collaborations that I am like facilitating, but things get busy and like an influencer follows up and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, thank you so much for following up," because it completely slipped my mind. It's so helpful. Please follow up. You're not being annoying, I promise. So, a quick real life example. This is Jenny Cipoletti. A lot of you may be familiar with her. She's really big. I partner with her a lot with my airline client. She is New York based influencer and blogger. She's a macro influencer, bigger audience. Her audience is interested mainly in fashion and travel. But I will say about Jenny, after every single collaboration that we have together, she pitches immediately. She's like, I'm going to be traveling to this destination. I know you guys have straight flights. She tells us a fresh new partnership idea. And because we just had such a great opportunity, a great collaboration opportunity with her, we're down. We're like, yeah, for sure. Let's do it. So she always looks ahead to her travels for the next 6 months. If she's going to be traveling to any of our destinations and she's looking for flight support, she'll reach out and she'll just pitch it on the spot. She doesn't wait too long, and just because of that, she lands the collaboration. So definitely recommend that you take a couple tips from Jenny, and pitch directly after and continue to build that relationship with the brands. So that's all I have for you. I feel like I definitely flew through that. But that was a lot of fun. And before we do Q&A, I do want to tell you about a couple things. So first thing, we're doing another live workshop. Me and Wonderful, really excited, bringing to you how to get invited on press trips, which is a very fun topic. We're doing this on October 19th at 6 p.m. EST. So I'll see you here. So this is all about mainly just, of course, getting invited on industry press trips. We're going to go all the way into detail. We're not just going to talk about hotels. We're not just going to talk about tourism boards. We're going to talk about hospitality companies all across the board. So save the date, put it in your calendar, October 19th. at 6 p.m. Eastern. And then another thing is that I want to tell you a little bit more about working with me and further support with me. So I currently have a mastermind that is open this fall. It is a 6-month premier community powered experience. This is for beginner and advanced travel loving content creators that want to become well paid creator entrepreneurs. This is your roadmap to get paid to travel the world. We are talking about all things from travel brands, even trip planning. I work a lot with travel journalists, so we cover that as well. If you're interested, definitely as part of being of the part of the wonderful community and also knowing about this mastermind ahead of time, you will get $500 off if you join before December. You can DM me on Instagram at Travel with Tinsley. You can DM me Mastermind for the application, and we'll also talk through some different things to make sure you're a great fit for it. So some things that are included, and which I'm really excited about, this is a brand new program. For a while, I've always done courses, I've always done private coaching, but this time I'm combining all of it together. So you will get a curriculum, of course, so it'll be similar to like a course, but you're going to get private coaching as well as group coaching sessions, a customized business plan. So we're going to go through everything from content to social media to travel brands to creating your own digital products and your own digital services. And then based off of your business plan, we'll break down a weekly to do. So it's not anything too overwhelming. And you know that, what do I need to do today? What do I need to do tomorrow? And they're all needle moving things. We're not going to get distracted with all of the bells and whistles that we think we need to have, such as I don't know, email lists and newsletters and podcasts and all the different things that you believe that you may need to have early on, but you don't necessarily need to have. So we're going to do customized business plans. Another thing is sales and content planning calls. So we will have calls dedicated just to content planning where we jump on the call and we're planning your content out for the next month. We're going into all the details from your caption, what trending audio you're going to use. And then we'll also have a sales planning call where we're going to forecast your income, and we're going to reverse engineer that and basically let you know how much you need to price your services when you're pitching to these brands, how much you need to price your services when you're doing trip planning or when you're writing stories for like Travel and Leisure and Condé Nast Traveler and National Geographic. So that's what we're going to talk a lot about on our sales planning calls. It also includes accountability because this is huge. I firmly believe that I can give you everything that you need to do in order to be a well-traveled and well-paid content creator, but if you don't have the accountability, you're likely not going to do it. So that's the purpose of our accountability system and our co-working sessions. Yes, you have the to-dos, but we're actually going to jump on a call and you're going to do it together and you're going to share it. So that's where the accountability comes in. And also just a couple program bonuses. It is very intimate. Only 8 people are going to be in this program. And also it's going to be other influencers and content creators. So very like-minded. You will have access to guest experts and trainings from industry leaders. I'll bring in some of my industry friends so you can learn a little bit more about how we do things on the brand side and even just in the social media and content space. You'll get lifetime access to the Well Travel Creator Academy. So that is my signature program on how to land partnerships with travel brands. I teach you literally everything from the reason why travel brands work with influencers, how you can insert yourself in their campaigns, how to come up with the collaboration idea, what deliverables to include, how much to price those deliverables. Once you land a collaboration, how to do a good job during a collaboration, how to send your content for review. The list goes on, literally from A to Z, how to work with travel brands. And also you'll get lifetime access to all of the courses and programs I launch in 2024. And also because we're in 2023, you'll get 2023 as well. So that's all I have for you. If you would like to know more details and you're interested in the mastermind, you can DM me. You can DM me Instagram. No, don't DM me Instagram. You can DM me Mastermind on Instagram, and I'll share more details with you. Alrighty. So wanted to fly through that so we can have 10 minutes for Q&A. Send your Qs my way, and I will send you my As. Stacy's like, I'm in. Yes. Love to hear it. Definitely reach out. We'll talk more about it. You can unmute yourself. You can type it, whatever feels right for you.
So, I've got a question.
Mhm.
Um, I'm mostly a blogger now, and I'm wanting to do more video
Ooh.
uh, in the near future. But I am stumbling on my Instagram.
Okay.
Uh, and I know that that is what a lot of brands use.
Mhm.
Um, and I'm kind of just stuck on it. I don't understand why it doesn't get the traction that my other um, social media does, and whether or not I should worry about it.
Well, one thing I can tell you is don't worry about it. Everything will always fall into place. But the strategy behind that, so that first part, that was a mindset. But the second part, the strategy, is that perhaps your audience is not very much so interested in Instagram. So, for example, Instagram is mainly a platform where you'll find a lot of Gen Z and millennials. But if your audience is mainly like Gen X or just maybe an older generation, you'll likely find them more on Facebook or on YouTube, not necessarily Instagram or TikTok.
Mhm. And
Uh,
that is my audience. My audience is more older.
Good. Okay. So that's good to know. So maybe, I mean, you can still keep going with your Instagram, but as far as what to focus more on where your audience is located. Those platforms such as Facebook, YouTube. They're on Instagram too, but I really recommend Facebook out of all of them. They're definitely on Facebook.
Right. All right. And TikTok, which I do not do. People love TikTok. I don't
People
understand
do
it.
love TikTok. And honestly, thank you, Kelly. Thank you so much for joining. Honestly, I feel like content these days are so much easier to create because there's literally no point these days to create an Instagram reel or a TikTok video that is longer than 10 seconds because people aren't going to watch it that long. So to
Okay.
know that you only have to create like a 7 second reel, you could create one every single day easily and literally
Okay.
blow up. It's so true compared to like back in the days like 10 years ago you have to have like these long YouTube videos, these long blog posts, and it's just like nowadays people are not even reading that.
Right. Right.
So it's crazy how
Okay.
times change.
It does. It is crazy how things change. But uh, I am very interested in your mastermind.
Yeah, excited to hear
I-
that. I love to discuss. We can definitely discuss over Instagram. Because I love to know, like, of course, like some pre-qualifying questions. Because I always like to make sure when you're doing these group programs, you want to make sure that like everyone's on the same page. I've been in a mastermind before where like it was a great program, but like definitely there was people of all different levels, people that were focusing on all different things. So we'll talk a little bit more and I'll share more details with you over Instagram.
okay. Okay.
It-
Now, and how often if you're traveling a lot, when is the ideal time to pitch like a hotel?
It depends on the destination because all destinations have different peak seasons.
Hmm.
So like for example, summertime. It's probably not a good time to pitch certain destinations in Europe, like London, like Paris, like the really top destinations in Italy because everyone travels to Europe in the summer, right? But
Hmm.
summertime for those that are underneath the equator is like their winter time. So not
Right.
a lot of people are traveling to Argentina in June because it's a
Right.
little colder. In some parts of Argentina, it's snowing during that time, which means it's opportunity for you to partner with these hotel brands and
Okay.
travel brands. So it really depends on the actual destination itself and their peak season. You can pitch during their peak season, but the best time to pitch is during their shoulder season. So that's like the season right before their peak season, like a couple months beforehand, because they are looking to work with influencers that can get more people in that can partner with them before their peak season, post their content before their peak season so that people can see it, they can consume it, they can think, oh, I want to visit this Italian hotel come summer. They book it, and next thing you know, they're booking it during peak season. So they kind of need that lead time. So that's why shoulder season's a really good time.
Shoulder season. Okay.
Yeah. What else? Got about 4 more minutes. I'm happy to hang out.
What tools do you use to keep those things organized?
As far as partnerships,
Mm-hmm.
I'm an old school Excel kind of gal.
Okay.
Yeah, I love to just, lay it all out on an Excel sheet. And you really have to do it that way sometimes because I mean, you could be sending out so many pitches and it's just like, wait, when was the last time I spoke to that person? Isn't it time to follow up with them now? So like a spreadsheet is a really great way to just keep track. Um, and also you want to be careful sometimes when you're pitching to too many brands because you don't want to make a mistake in your pitch and they can obviously that you pitched that to another hotel. So just
Right.
yeah, you want to keep track of it.
Okay. Okay. I don't want to monopolize you, but if anybody's not taking
Yeah,
advantage of your expertise, I will.
you have the
Um,
spotlight, Stacy, okay? Today is your day.
it's nice because I don't normally get a chance to talk to the wonderful any of the wonderful workshops or anything. But it's almost 8 a.m. here, which is so odd because it's usually 1 in the
Right.
morning or 2 in the morning. So I'm happy to be awake during this. But so when you're pitching like a tourism board, first of all, what's your tool to, are you just Googling a city to find out the tourism board, um, all of the tourism boards in that area? Are you just Googling it to find this information?
Yeah, I like that question. It's a really good one. So yeah, Google. Google, you can go on Google. The thing is about tourism boards, not all of them actually go by the term tourism board. Some of them go by like tourism advisory or like conventions bureau or what else have I seen? Simply just like visit and then a destination. So like visit Mexico, visit California, visit Florida. So I tend to notice the most that if you type in visit and then a destination, that's usually the name of the tourism board. But you can always just type in the actual tourism board, like I don't know, Barcelona tourism board, and then the first site that pops up will be it. I highly recommend though doing further research to make sure that is the official tourism board because not that there's scam tourism boards out there, it's just that there's tourism boards out there that are not official and it's just like you waking up tomorrow and saying, I want to create a tour operating company for South Korea. And all of a sudden you have like this website that's called Visit South Korea, but you're not the official government tourism board.
Right. Okay.
So,
And then do you follow up by calling to find out the actual individual that you should be contacting, or do
so
you
some,
just do it general?
yeah, so something interesting, and this is what I see a lot with tourism boards that are based in North America. I don't know if this is 100% true, but I do feel like they are almost required to include their contact information on their website. Because if you go to any tourism board website, like in the United States, in Canada, or in most of Mexico, you will be able to easily find their public relations person, their marketing person, as well as their name, their phone number, and their email.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
incredible.
Okay. And that's sometimes in like their press area too, isn't it?
That's a really good point too. Yes, in their press kit. So if you go down to the bottom of their site, or sometimes it's in the top, you can go to their press room, newsroom. What are some other things that you may see? Press kit. You can click on that, and you'll be able to see like who's their press representative.
Okay. And my last question is, do you make it simple? Because you've got to offer them something. You're not just asking to give,
Absolutely.
something from them. You have to offer them something. So
Mhm.
what's the simplest way to offer some value to them?
The simplest way. Well, As far as idea or as far as deliverables?
As far as idea,
The simplest way is to go on their website and look at the things that they're promoting the most. So a lot of times you can go on the tourism board's website and you can see, oh, like they're promoting a festival that they have going on, and you can scroll down, they're like, oh, more about the festival. Scroll down, oh, more about the festival. That tells you that they're currently having a marketing campaign for that festival, and the really great collaboration idea that you could pitch them is about the festival.
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I want to make it easy. I'm just saying what's a way to get in, because I've never pitched anybody, and so and I
Ooh.
keep wanting to do it, and I just haven't done it because I'm scared of rejection. But I know I shouldn't be.
No, you shouldn't be, because with rejection comes the opportunity for you to learn why they rejected you. Sometimes brands will come back and tell you why. They'll straight up tell you it's your engagement rate or it's your audience. And also, the more that you pitch, and I tell this to my students all the time, the more that you pitch, the more opportunities you land. You cannot send one pitch and think that you're going to land a press trip.
Okay.
It just doesn't work like that. You have to send like 10 pitches, sometimes 20 pitches to get an opportunity like that. So the more that you pitch, it really is a numbers game. And I hate to put it that way, but it is a numbers game. The more that you pitch, the more opportunities you will land.
Okay.
So
Alexis, I love your energy. So I appreciate your time.
you're very welcome. Thank you for all your questions. There's another one from Yaleen. She said, when you say people don't have the attention span for longer pieces of content, does that mean brands will prioritize social media over blogs? Yes. Yes, but I don't want to speak for all brands, because it really depends on what their campaign is and what they're trying to promote. The brands that I handle influencer partnerships with, we don't really do blogs. Usually blogs is something that is like a secondary piece of content. So say we're working with a blogger who has an Instagram presence, and they say, oh, well, I'll work with you to create, a carousel post and stories, and I'll throw a blog into it. Then we're like, oh, okay, that's perfect. We would love to do it. But if they say, oh, I'd love to work with you just for my blog, we're like, it depends. What does the viewership on your blog look like? And I'll be honest, as far as blog viewership, they're usually looking for like a large amount of monthly visitors. They're usually looking for like 50,000 and more just of monthly visitors. But hey, you might have that. You might have that. So that's why I don't want to put down blogs. Blogs is what makes the world go round. I mean, you can Google anything, and like the first thing that'll pop up on Google is a blog. So blogs makes the world go around. It's just that while you're building your blog up to like that 50K and 100K viewership, focus on your social media presence, because your social media will grow faster than your blog, and your social media will allow you to work with travel brands faster than your blog.
Okay.
Yeah. Alrighty. So we will wrap this up. Thank you so much. Feel free to reach out to me on Instagram at Travel with Tinsley. I look forward to staying connected with you all. And until then, I will see you on October 19th to talk all about press trips. Have a good
Thanks.
night. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.